Alright, so I've found the exit and I've come out. Ah! How's it going? Welcome back to another great video. Today I'm in the Japanese mountains or forest, whatever you could say. It's very difficult to actually hear myself, let alone the camera. Hopefully it's okay, but the cicadas are very loud. So yeah, if you don't know, I live in Japan now, and for some stupid reason I came out into the middle of the forest and there's not much sun left, but I just wanted to get out the house and actually film in nature, because this video is all about nature and philosophy. And if you don't know, philosophy is something I care very much about, and today I'm going to talk about the philosophy of ignorance and how modern day society has become so lost compared to ancient times where philosophy was held in such high regard. Because it used to be, back in, ancient Greece or the Roman Empire, philosophy was not just, an academic subject, but actually a way of living, a way of life. And, there were different schools of philosophy. I think we all know about stoicism. That's something that I'm mostly interested in. And you've probably heard of Marcus Aurelius or Epictetus. These are great stoic philosophers, or Seneca. But there's actually, of course, many different types of philosophy, all the way from Buddhism to Taoism, and even Shinto here in Japan is a form of philosophy where you are worshipping nature in a sense. And today I just wanted to talk about ignorance in modern day society and the importance of philosophy. I have my rambling notes out here like a complete madman. And I just saw some giant spiders. But that's one thing I absolutely hate about Japanese forests, is you can't actually enjoy it because you're always paranoid, because there are just, it's not, no one comes out here unless if you're crazy like me. And it's not like kept tidy, of course, so there's just like crazy massive cobwebs everywhere. But anyway, yeah, I wanted to get out in nature and talk about this, so I hope you enjoy. Anyway, most philosophy is about practicing virtue. For the Stoics, that sense of happiness and living a virtuous life is called eudaimonia, where you reach a state of virtue and happiness. Of course, Buddhist philosophy, Buddhism, is all about reaching enlightenment and, not so much reaching happiness, because I never liked that. And modern day society always focuses way too much about living the best life that you can, living the best possible life to achieve happiness. But that's impossible, because happiness, Jesus Christ, I'm gonna run out. I'm climbing an old staircase, so sorry if I'm a bit out of breath. I'm just paranoid about insects. Anyway, yeah, happiness is just a fleeting emotion, just like sadness, like fear. Humans aren't supposed to just chase happiness and that's all, because that's obviously not sustainable. So most philosophy is about basically living a virtuous life, and most philosophies agree that a virtuous life is living in accordance with nature basically following justice. And we can get into a whole thing about what is justice. And, obviously in very simple terms, it's what's good. But, philosophy goes a lot deeper than that, because you have to understand what is good and what is bad, and if this concept of good and bad even exists, because it's all about how we perceive things. Human beings have such a tiny perception of reality, and most things aren't actually, a big deal, really. If you look at it in the grand scheme of the universe, it's all around our judgments and our perceptions, and that's what philosophy is all about. It's about understanding what the true reality of the universe is, and how we can live the best possible life in accordance with nature and, with other human beings. And that's why philosophy means so much to me. That's why I care about it so much. And especially stoicism, I feel that's really spoken to me. And, that's what they preached back in ancient Rome. And that's why I want to bring back, an old ancient philosophy similar to the Romans, what they had in the Roman Empire times. But I think most philosophies, even if they are radically different, they all agree that you should live a virtuous life. So it's very important to understand what virtue is, and we can talk more about that later in this video. But the thing that I really want to talk about today is the fact that modern day society has forgotten about virtue. Most people don't care about that. It's all about instant gratification. It's about constant dopamine rushes. Me. It's not about other people. It's not about society. It's all about the individual. And I think that's why modern day society seems so selfish and so all-consuming these days. So that's why this video is the philosophy of ignorance, because most people in today's society are living an ignorant life. And I'm going to talk about that more, and I'm going to give you an example. Just a heads up, kids, don't try this at home. Don't be an idiot like Xavier. Come out when pretty much the sun's gone and you've only got like a tiny bit of water left. I may be preaching about wisdom, but I'm pretty stupid. Why do I make it so tight? Oh, jeez. Did I mention that Japan also has lots of snakes in tall grass? Like Pokemon, except they're not Pokemon, they'll just kill you instead. So, that's also good. Okay, I found a nice open area with a little tiny shrine. It's not really a shrine, it's like a mini temple. I'm very smart. Anyway, got my notes here. So, most people agree, most philosophers agree that wisdom and virtue falls under... Most philosophers agree, there's a fucking giant whatever the hell that was. Most philosophers agree that virtue falls under these different traits of a human. And that is wisdom, rationality, logic, courage, and moderation. Okay? And pretty much all of those qualities that I value a lot. And, if you want to introduction into philosophy, I recommend you start off with Epictetus, and then go to Marcus Aurelius, then Seneca, or if you're more interested in Buddhism or Shinto, of course you can read up on that as well. But, it seems daunting if you're not interested in philosophy whatsoever, but there's always a place to start. Of course, love for your fellow human being and understanding and compassion instead of apathy is of course very important, especially in Buddhism, but there's always a place to start if you are interested, and I encourage any of you to just give it a try, because for me, philosophy is the highest thing humans can possibly achieve. That is the highest aspirations of humanity, because, oh geez, what the hell was that? Because there's nothing more greater than understanding consciousness and reality and the universe itself. I think it was Socrates, but I could be wrong, but someone said the unexamined life is not worth living, and I think that is completely true. Sorry if I look paranoid. There's a lot of insects, okay, you can't see them, but anyway, so, you know, I just think modern day society has completely forgotten about virtue, because like I said, you know, now it's all about hyper-capitalism. It's about never having an uneasy moment in your life, you know, constantly being entertained, constantly being fed information or entertainment. Modern culture is all about, you have to be productive, you have to be, you know, a cog in the machine to just constantly produce something. And of course, I'm a part of that problem as well, but, you know, like, it seems society has forgotten the actual, you know, natural wonder of what it is to be a human. And, you know, like I always talk about, a lot of people now are even more focused in their echo chambers, in their group identity tribes, and then this tribal warfare is what, you know, destroys the world. A lot of people like to blame religion for the world's problems or all of this kind of stuff, but that isn't the problem, okay? The problem is having a closed mind, okay? And I don't think that you should have such an open mind that literally your brains will just fall out of your ears, but it's important that we all are compassionate and understanding of one another. And philosophy, it basically enriches your life to the point that nothing will annoy you as much as it used to be. You will be able to control your emotions much better. You will be able to think much more rationally. And if everyone could focus about the virtues of what philosophy has to offer, the world would just be a better place. So that's why I think it's very important. And I do believe that most philosophers agree, even if they are from different schools, like Epicureanism compared to Stoicism or Buddhism, they all agree about, you know, living in accordance with virtue and Mother Nature, because we are all born from the same atoms and elements. We are all part of this conscious universe. So, yeah. Well, I've managed to find a clearing. Still got my notes, so that's useful for survival. Alright, let's keep going. They're so overgrown, Jesus Christ. What the hell? Is this the right way? I hope so. What's life without a bit of adventure, I always say, but oh, I think I found the exit. Alright, so I found the exit and I've come out. Ah! Oh, fucking hell. That was terrifying. Jesus Christ. A cicada just literally flew right into my neck. And if you don't know what a cicada is, they are giant. And they are so horrible. Alright, so after that cicada attack, I found the exit over there. And I've come out, I have no idea where, so I need to find a quiet place to finish this video, so it's quite a nice view though. I have no idea where I am, but well. The Japanese guy was watching me. Probably thinks I'm doing a Logan Paul. Yup. Oh jeez, I hate to say it, but there's a body right there. No shit. Alright, so I'm just heading to this temple so I can finish the story of Plato and the cave. So I just came out in this random Japanese neighborhood. So yeah, that's kind of not where I wanted to get to, but I had no idea where I was going. I'm just glad I managed to get out the forest after that crazy attack. By the way, if you are enjoying this vlog, Japanese vlog, make sure you do subscribe, and if you like the video, please comment, because that's what I'm really passionate about, is sharing philosophy and all that kind of stuff. Of course I love games, and that's going to be a big part of my channel, but you know, I want to be doing more of these videos. So, and there's a bike coming, so I'll just wait for it to go. But whoa, she's gone. Okay, cool. Anyway, so yeah, I do actually have a lot of footage in Japan of all of the kind of crazy stuff I've been doing. So my thought is I'm going to compile them into 2 big vlogs, and if people like it, then that's good. And if you want just more real life vlogging, you know, it doesn't have to be just a vlog, because that's kind of boring. You know, just like this, you know, I can give it a topic and make it about something. That's what I'm interested in. But yeah, other Japanese vlogs will be coming, so just be ready for that. And yeah, so getting weird looks. That's why I don't like vlogging. That's why I always try and find quiet areas. I don't know how YouTubers do it. You know, I guess they just don't mind looking like absolute douchebags. But if you're like me, and you actually have some self-respect, and you don't think being a YouTuber is that cool, because you know really what you are is just a douchebag holding a camera, thinking that he's special, then, you know, you might have a little bit more self-respect. Anyway. So I found a nice temple. Actually, this is my kind of local one to where I live. I'm gonna do like an apartment, Japanese real estate apartment tour at some point, but usually you shouldn't film inside because it's, you know, you have to be respectful, and I'm very considerate of Japanese culture, as basically my own personal belief system is very in line with Japanese culture, so I fit pretty well. And I really don't like gaijin who don't respect the culture, but I just want somewhere quiet to film, because filming in the street, it's even more disrespectful, I think. So I'll find a quiet spot. But yeah, sometimes I come here just to do some reading, or just to do some thinking if I need to clear my head, because my local temple is pretty tiny, so this is a nice one. Now not too many people, so I think it's probably okay to vlog. Stoicism has been completely misinterpreted by modern day society, because a lot of people like to describe, you know, a man as, oh, he's so stoic just because he doesn't show any emotions, or, you know, he's like a bit of a douche or something. Like, you know, he's like Mr. Silent guy and Mr. Tough guy. That's not what stoicism is at all, and modern day society just doesn't understand it, of course, and media doesn't understand it. It's not about not having emotions, it's about, you know, basically understanding and controlling your emotions, and basically a healthy sense of detachment, because like I said, we don't own anything. That's simply our ego. So we only own our consciousness and our rationality, and Stoicism is all basically about controlling your passions, you know, healthy and unhealthy, pride, and, anger, love, all of this, even if it's a positive emotion, can still be unhealthy if you are too attached to, a certain emotion or a certain thing. So it's all about regulating and controlling and understanding the healthy passions and the unhealthy passions, and basically going towards the healthy and virtuous passions. So that's basically the main themes of Stoicism. But like I said, lots of different philosophies share the same themes of virtue. Shinto, Buddhism, it's all very similar in some ways, but I just hope that helps you understand a little bit better. Okay, so now it is getting late, so I should head back, but let's just finish the video here in the middle of nowhere. But basically, it's all about controlling your passions and desires. Basically seeking constant pleasure and always chasing your desires. That's, basically it's the choice of Hercules. That's a great Stoic story of, basically either going down the road of pleasure or the road of virtue. And of course, moderation and discipline and struggle, that's a lot harder than just seeking pleasure and comfort 24/7, of course, but I feel like that's today's, that's modern day society problem, is the fact that we are very hedonistic with the way we consume things. It's a very consumer culture, and people are they just don't know themselves anymore because they are so constantly consumed by content or entertainment, and they're all being brainwashed by mainstream media telling them certain narratives, this kind of idea of groupthink as well, and everyone being kind of hooked into the machine of technology and all this kind of stuff. That's what I see as a big problem with modern day society, and how philosophy could combat that, but most people just don't want to learn about it because we live in the current time of, God is dead all over again. And philosophy is seen as a type of spirituality, which it is, but that doesn't mean it's bad. So, that's why it's really important to, let go of these perceptions that you think define your reality, and look at things in a wider perspective without judgment and attachment, because it's all about judgment and your perception of things. And what can we do in this life except live a good life, be nice to one another and do the right thing? I think that's the most honorable thing that we can do, and that's where morality comes into it. So it just depends on what kind of person you want to be. So I hope that I can create a community around virtue and positivity, and one day I can bring back the Roman philosophy and my own philosophy that I'm trying to create. You should try and catch yourself thinking, because the way you think is actually the way you act in some ways, and it changes the person you are. So next time you disagree with someone, or you think they're wrong, or even if you're just on a train and you think someone smells, you don't have to put the judgment in front of it. You don't have to say, this person smells, therefore he is a disgusting person, and blah 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 blah. Simply say, this person has not washed. That's a very simplistic view of what philosophy can teach you, but it's just a much healthier way to look at the world, and I think people could then come together and live a better life together. So yeah, sorry this is a bit of a rambly video, but there's just so much different ideas I want to get out there. But I'm going to do lots of different videos on this, and like I said, do expect more vlogs, more Japanese vlogs. There will be 2 big ones, and then I will do more subjects like this, and just me going out and exploring with a subject. So yeah, just expect, I'm really gonna invest in this channel now, so I'm very serious about it. So now let's quickly end on the philosophy of ignorance, okay, and Plato's analogy of the cave. And it's quite a nice analogy, because right behind me is darkness, okay? It's a forest, but it's still complete darkness. So basically the story of Plato's Cave is a group of men, all they've ever known in their life, in existence, is darkness. Okay, so they are chained up in a cave, you could say a dark forest, it doesn't really matter. The point is they have never seen light, okay? And they are just chained to a wall, and the only thing that they can perceive are shadows, okay? So there must be some kind of fire in the background or something where it basically illuminates the objects of the outside world, you know, and all they can see is the shadows on the wall and darkness. But that's all they've ever known. So for them, this is their reality. This is their perception of reality, because that's all they ever know. They think that these shadows, these false images, they are the actual things themselves, that the, you know, illusions that they conjure up in their heads or in the darkness, that is reality. And like I said, humans have a very tiny slice of perception. You know, we can only perceive a tiny bit of reality. Of course, a different life form could see, you know, reality in a whole new way, which is so crazy why everyone is so stuck in their ways of thinking and, you know, having arguments and disagreements, and, you know, it's just ridiculous. But anyway, so they've been stuck in this cave all of their lives, and that's all they can see is the shadows. And eventually one man escapes, okay? He breaks free from the cave and he goes outside, and what does he see? He sees a whole new beautiful world. He sees light, he sees the ocean, he sees the sky, he sees people, and he realizes that the shadows and the illusions that his brain and, you know, his perception of reality, what they've been creating, have simply just been a false fabrication of reality. And then he goes back and he tells the other people, you know, locked up in the cave, who have lived there all their lives, you know, chained up. He tells his brothers and sisters that, you know, this is not the real world and there's a whole nother world out there. And of course, what do? They call him a madman, they laugh at him, and they stay ignorant in the cave forever, because that's all they've ever known, and they don't want to hear about anything else. And it's such a perfect story, Plato's Cave, because it's a timeless story which can be told, you know, thousands and thousands of years in the future as well, because God damn it! What the hell's going on? Why do bugs hate me? I hate cicadas. I mean, I love cicadas. Remember, there's no love or hate. Ugh, but they are pretty horrible. But it's not their fault anyway. But, sorry, I'm trying to finish this story. It's got so late and this video is going to be goddamn much longer than it needed to be. But the point is that the philosophy of ignorance, the reason people stay ignorant, is because they simply don't want to hear what they can't understand, or what scares them, what frightens them. You know, humans are afraid of the unknown. That's why so many people want to stay in Neverland and ignorant of the truth. They don't want to hear other people's opinions or beliefs, and they just shut them down. That is the number one thing that's destroying humanity, and it's the most prevalent today in modern day society because of all the reasons that I just said. And that is where philosophy can help and change modern day society for the better, and that is what I hope to do. I hope that you are a wise boy, and I thank you so much if you did watch this whole video. It means so much to me, and I hope you did learn something, and hopefully we can do some great things with this channel in the future. Like I said, I'm very heavily invested in it now, but that is the problem with modern day society now, is most people, it's not their fault necessarily, but most people are ignorant, and we have been conditioned to live in this Neverland comfort society, and that is why we have lost virtue. And I don't think it's a good thing. I think that's why so many people are, you know, torn apart, especially with social media as well. So there's a way to fix this, there's a way to combat it, and there's a way to go forwards. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and now I'm being lost in the darkness, and I will go back to ignorance.